The engines love working when the sun shines. One day, Thomas and Percy were helping Salty at the docks. But Salty was worried.
It may be sunny now, matey, but there be a storm coming.
It may be sunny now, matey, but there be a storm coming. There be a fierce storm on the way, Captain, peeped Percy. Salty knew they were making fun of him. He felt sad. Later, Sir Topham Hatt arrived. "I want you to fetch Fergus from the smelter's yard," he said. "His driver doesn't know the line."
Aye, aye, sir,
replied Salty sadly. Salty was glad he was going to the smelters. He didn't want to stay where he wasn't liked. "What's wrong?" asked Emily.
Nobody likes to be made fun of by silly tank engines.
And he huffed away. Emily knew she had to find Thomas and Percy immediately. "Those be dark clouds, matey," whistled Thomas. "There be a fierce storm on the way, Captain," peeped Percy. Emily was cross. "It's not nice to copy the way others speak. You hurt Salty's feelings." "We were just having fun," said Percy. "We'll say sorry to him," added Thomas. But Salty was nowhere to be found. Thomas and Percy were worried. Fergus was waiting for Salty when he arrived at the smelters. "Right on time," congratulated Fergus.
Aye, but there's a storm coming,
said Salty.
"We must hurry."
Soon they were hooked up and on their way home. Salty was right about the storm. It was a fierce one. The ships at sea depend upon the lighthouse to keep them safely off the rocks. But now there was trouble. "The lighthouse lamp has gone out!" cried the captain. Salty and Fergus were fighting their way through the wind and rain. Then Salty saw a lantern ahead. The lighthouse keeper was waiting for him. "Our lighthouse lamp has gone out! Our generator is broken!" Salty had an idea.
"Fergus has a flywheel. It could power the generator."
"Hurry!" shouted the lighthouse keeper. Fergus's flywheel was attached to the generator shaft. Without the lighthouse, the ship was steaming towards the rocks. Fergus was working as fast as he could. Finally, the generator came back to life. The lighthouse beam shone across the stormy sea once more. "Just in time! Hard to starboard, matey!" Salty's idea had saved the day. Fergus worked hard until first light. The next morning, Salty and Fergus chugged back to the docks. They were surprised to see a crowd waiting for them.
"Thank you,"
said the captain.
"You saved our ship."
"Well done," boomed Sir Topham Hatt. Salty was very proud. "We're sorry if we hurt your feelings," puffed Thomas. "We were only copying you because we think you're grand."
"Then say no more, me hearties,"
replied Salty happily. Now they will all work together and have fun together, as good friends should. In the summertime, there is no better place to be than the island of Sodor. The engines are happy to show vacationers the wonderful sights to be seen. But this year, there was a problem. Thomas and Emily were in the foundry for repairs. "I need to find a way to carry more passengers," grumbled Sir Topham Hatt. We have more vacationers and fewer engines, said Emily. A double-decker problem, added Thomas. A double-decker problem? This gave Sir Topham Hatt an idea. He drove straight to Bulgy's field. Bulgy is a double-decker bus. He was turned into a henhouse after he caused a silly accident. Good news, Bulgy. I'm putting you back on the road. Thank you, sir. I'll be the best bus ever. Bulgy never liked being a henhouse anyway. The next day, he went to the foundry. Bulgy, exclaimed Thomas, what are you doing here? I'm being repaired. I'm going back on the road. I think you'll be helping the new farmer, said Emily. He needs to deliver his vegetables around the island. Vegetables? I'm going to carry passengers. Soon, Bulgy was refitted inside and out. He looked smart and shiny. Even James was impressed. Ooh! When Bulgy returned to his field, the hens thought their old house looked splendid. We'll start in the morning, said his driver. You'll stay here tonight. Bulgy was soon fast asleep. But the hens missed their old home. One by one, they crept aboard and went to sleep in the luggage racks. Bulgy knew nothing. The next morning, Bulgy picked up lots of passengers. All aboard, he tooted, and set off for the station. He was driving so smoothly that the hens didn't wake up. All was well until Bulgy turned a corner. Trevor was pulling a hay cart. Get out of my way! He overtook Trevor. Bulgy swerved. The hens woke up. The passengers panicked. And Bulgy's driver lost control. The hens were frightened. They flapped. They squawked. Stop! Cried Bulgy's passengers. We want to get off! The passengers were covered in feathers and broken eggs. They were very cross. This bus is full of hens, they complained. We shall tell Sir Topham Hatt. It's not my fault, sulked Bulgy. Sir Topham Hatt sent Bulgy to be cleaned. Silly hens, silly passengers, you can have them both. The farmer still needs help with his vegetables, said Emily. A vegetable bus? Hey, that's not such a bad idea. And we're back carrying passengers, smiled Thomas. Bulgy is happy now. He has new green paintwork and a smart serving hatch. Sir Topham Hatt agreed he could become the island's only vegetable stand on wheels. Bulgy likes carrying vegetables. They don't lay eggs. And they never complain. Harold the helicopter is glad not to be a steam engine. He is much happier flying in the sky than racing along on road or rails. One sunny morning, the engines were busy preparing for the Vicar's annual garden party. I'd like to help, called Harold, but I'm on patrol. He was looking for engines that might be in trouble. Meanwhile, the engines puffed to and fro with their loads for the party. Percy was delivering deck chairs and decorations, tables and tea urns, and reminders. Don't forget to come to the vicar's party. Thanks for the invitation, called Harold. But duty calls, and he whirred away. Harold was landing at his airfield to get more fuel when he saw Pegasus, the cart horse that lives close by. Pegasus was getting ready to give rides to children. He had a shiny leather harness and a freshly painted cart. Harold was beginning to feel left out of the celebrations. He wished more than ever that he could help. Thomas puffed in with some passengers. "Where are you going next?" buzzed Harold. "To the vicar's party, of course. Everyone's going." "Everyone except me," replied Harold. "I'm on duty." "Yes, indeed," said Thomas kindly. "Being a rescue helicopter is important work." "But no one needs rescuing," sighed Harold. Then came the surprise. Harold's pilot received an urgent call from Sir Topham Hatt. "Pegasus is stuck in a ditch. If he doesn't get to the vicar's party, the children will be disappointed. You must rescue him at once." "All set and ready for action," reported Harold. "Pegasus?" wondered Percy. "That's a funny name for a horse." "It's the name of a flying horse in a very old story," explained Sir Topham Hatt. "Flying horse?" exclaimed Percy. "Horses can't fly." He felt very clever. Harold flew to the rescue as fast as he could. "What happened?" he asked Thomas. "We were loading the cart. Pegasus wandered off into the ditch. Silly horse. Now he's stuck. If you can take him, I can take the cart. I'll put Pegasus in my sling." "We need to hurry," whistled Thomas. "The party is about to begin." And he steamed away. Soon Harold's pilot had fitted Harold's sling under Pegasus. Then Harold gently lifted him into the air and carefully carried him across the fields. When Percy saw Pegasus flying through the sky, he was amazed. "Well, flatten my funnel so horses can fly after all." The children cheered for Harold. He had saved the day. Soon Pegasus was hitched up to the cart. The party was a big success, and the children had a wonderful time. Harold was happy. He'd stayed on duty and had fun at the party, too.